I stood in the corner of the banquet hall, holding half a glass of champagne. The ice had already melted. Water slid down the outside of the glass and dampened my fingers. A little sticky. Just like my mood. The stage lights were so bright they made people dizzy. My wife of 3 years, no, soon to be my ex-wife, Sophia Reed, was holding a man's arm and smiling like a flower in full bloom. I did not know that man. He wore a tailored suit, his hair was slicked back, and a pair of gold-rimmed glasses sat on his nose. Sophia wore a red evening gown. It was the birthday gift I had given her last year. Back then, she complained that the color was too bright and too showy. Now, on her body, it looked perfectly fitting. Thank you all for coming. Sophia picked up the microphone, and her voice spread through the speakers across the whole hall. Clear. Pleasant. Filled with a kind of joy I had never heard from her before. Today is the celebration banquet for our company's successful IPO. It is also a very important day for me personally. She turned her head and looked at the man beside her. Her gaze was so gentle it could drip water. I want to take this opportunity to announce something to everyone. She paused, as if preparing her emotions. The guests below lifted their heads, waiting to hear what came next. I waited too. Mr. Marcus Hale and I, she tightened her grip on the man's hand, have decided to get engaged. Applause rang out. At first, only a few scattered claps. Then it surged like a tide until it drowned the entire hall. Someone whistled. Someone shouted congratulations. Sophia's face flushed under the light. It was the blush of someone utterly pleased with herself. She lifted her chin slightly, enjoying the attention of that moment. I looked down at the champagne in my hand. The bubbles were long gone. Only a glass of lukewarm yellow liquid remained. I should have been angry. Strangely, I was not. My chest felt empty, as if everything inside had been hollowed out. Ethan? Someone called me. It was Sophia's assistant, Wendy. The young woman ran over, looking awkward. Ethan, why are you here? Ms. Reed was just looking for you. What for? I tugged at the corner of my mouth. She probably wanted to say hello. Wendy's voice grew smaller and smaller. She did not dare look me in the eyes. She already said hello, I said. You can tell her I saw it very clearly. Ethan. It's fine. Go handle your work. I waved my hand. Wendy hesitated, then turned and left. She was wearing heels, and her steps were a little unsteady, as if she was not used to occasions like this. Watching her leave, I suddenly thought of 3 years ago. 3 years ago, Sophia's company was only a small studio. It was rented inside an old office building, less than 500 square feet. In summer, it was hot as a steamer. In winter, it was cold as an ice cellar. Back then, she always said that once the company grew, she wanted to rent a spacious office. Install central air conditioning. Have huge floor-to-ceiling windows. I said, okay. I'll help you. I took out all my savings from 3 years of work. $30,000. Not much, but enough to help her survive the hardest 6 months. Later, when the money was still not enough, I borrowed from friends. 1, 2, 3. I made so many calls that even I got annoyed with myself. But Sophia said this was her dream. I said, your dream is my dream. Back then, she held me and cried, saying that once the company went public, we would go to Europe and make up our honeymoon. I said yes. I would wait for her. Now the company had gone public. The celebration banquet was being held. The person going on the honeymoon had changed. Very good. I set down the champagne glass and took out my phone. Unlocked it. Contacts. I found a number without a saved name and called. After 3 rings, the other side answered. Mr. Cole. It was a man's voice. Calm. Efficient. It's me, I said. You can start. Now? Yes. Now. I lifted my eyes toward the stage. Sophia was clinking glasses with Marcus Hale. They looked at each other and smiled. Very sweet. Within 3 minutes, I said. Withdraw all my capital. All of it? All of it. Understood. The call ended. I placed the phone back into my pocket and looked toward the stage again. Sophia was still smiling. She did not know what her world would look like 3 minutes later. But I knew. Because I designed it myself. Next, let's invite our investor representative, Mr. Marcus Hale, to say a few words. The host's voice was loud. Marcus took the microphone and cleared his throat. First, I want to thank Ms. Reed for her trust. It has been my honor to participate in this project. He spoke slowly and with structure. From the initial angel round to Series A, Series B, and now today's IPO, I have witnessed all of Ms. Reed's and her team's hard work. I believe this is only the beginning. A much wider sky is waiting for us in the future. Applause sounded again. Even louder than before. Sophia looked at him with eyes full of admiration. That look, she had never given it to me. Not even once. I leaned against the wall and began counting down. 180 seconds. 179. 178. Ethan? Someone called me again. This time, it was Sophia's mother, my mother-in-law. Soon to be former mother-in-law. Linda Reed. She wore a deep purple evening dress, a pearl necklace around her neck, and a jade bracelet on her wrist. I had bought all of them. Mom, I called. Don't call me Mom. Linda waved her hand, her expression unpleasant. Ethan, why are you hiding over here? Sophia is on stage. Why aren't you going over? What would I go over for? You're her husband. Not for long. Linda froze. She stared at me, as if confirming whether I was joking. What do you mean? It means, I said, your daughter just announced her engagement. The groom isn't me. You. Linda opened her mouth, but no words came out. Her expression shifted several times before she finally sighed. Ethan, Sophia is wrong in this matter. But now she has become successful, and the company has gone public. You need to understand her. Understand what? Understand that she has higher pursuits now. Linda said, you're a good boy, but for Sophia, maybe you're no longer suitable. Where am I unsuitable? Does that even need to be said? Linda pointed toward the stage. Look at Marcus. He studied overseas. His family is in business, and he himself is an investor. Sophia's company was able to go public because he helped her greatly. And you? You're just an ordinary office worker. What can your little monthly salary do? She said it very directly. Without leaving me a shred of dignity. I nodded. So I deserve to be dumped? You can't put it that way. Linda frowned. You two were husband and wife after all. Part on good terms. Sophia said she won't treat you unfairly. The house and car will be left to you. She'll also give you a sum of money, enough for you to live comfortably for a few years. How much? $75,000. Linda stretched out 5 fingers. 75,000. That isn't little. Could you save 75,000 after 3 years of work? I laughed. I truly wanted to laugh. Mom, do you know how much I invested in her? What money could you have invested? That little salary of yours isn't even enough for yourself. Linda's tone carried disdain. She had always looked down on me. From the day Sophia and I married, she had never given me a pleasant expression. She said I was not worthy of her daughter. She said I had no ability. She said I dragged Sophia down. Now, she finally had the chance to say it openly. Forget it. Let's not talk about this. Linda waved her hand. Today is a happy day. Don't make trouble. After the banquet ends, Sophia will talk to you properly. Be sensible. Don't embarrass her. After saying that, she turned and left. The hem of her dress swept across the floor, leaving behind a wave of perfume. Very strong. So strong it made my nose itch. I continued counting. 120 seconds. 119. On stage, Marcus's speech ended. He and Sophia drank again, leaning close and whispering something. Sophia laughed happily. Her eyes curved into crescents. That used to be my favorite smile. Now, looking at it only made my eyes hurt. Mr. Cole? Someone called me again. So many people were calling me tonight. I turned and saw a man in a suit standing beside me. He was in his 30s, wearing glasses and holding a folder. You are? I'm Mr. Hale's assistant. My last name is Carter. He handed me a business card. I did not take it. Something wrong? Mr. Hale asked me to give this to you. He pulled a document from the folder and handed it to me. I glanced at it. Divorce agreement. 5 words printed at the top. Bold black letters. Mr. Hale said it would be better for you and Ms. Reed to handle this early. Assistant Carter pushed his glasses. The terms are all clearly written. Please take a look. If there's no problem, sign it. Ms. Reed will complete the procedures with you as soon as possible. I took the document and flipped through 2 pages. The house would go to me. The car would go to me. $75,000 in cash. Very generous. Is this Mr. Hale's intention, or Sophia's? Ms. Reed's intention, Assistant Carter said. Mr. Hale is only helping handle it. How considerate of him. I closed the document. Tell Mr. Hale I won't sign. Mr. Cole, please don't do this. Assistant Carter's voice remained calm. If this gets ugly, it won't be good for anyone. Ms. Reed's status is different now. She's the owner of a public company. If you make trouble, you'll be the one who loses. Lose? I looked at him. Tell me. What else can I lose? Mr. Cole. Go back and tell him. I tossed the document back into his arms. Tell him to wait. Assistant Carter frowned and seemed ready to say more. But I did not give him the chance. I turned and left. Beside the champagne tower was a small door leading to the kitchen. I pushed it open and shut out the noise behind me. The kitchen was busy. Chefs were preparing fruit platters. Servers were carrying dishes. No one paid attention to me. I leaned against the wall and took out my phone. 60 seconds left. 59. 58. Ethan? Wendy again. She was holding a tray with several glasses of red wine. When she saw me, she froze. Why are you here? Getting some air. Oh. She hesitated, then walked over. Ethan, don't be too sad. Ms. Reed, maybe she's just confused for a moment. Confused for a moment for 3 years? I smiled slightly. Wendy fell silent. She lowered her head and looked at the glasses on the tray. Actually, Ms. Reed hasn't had it easy either, she said softly. The company was going public. The pressure was huge. Mr. Hale helped her a lot, so she should get engaged to him? That's not what I mean. Wendy grew anxious. Ethan, I've always thought you were a good person. But this matter. I don't know. I can't explain it either. If you can't explain it, don't. I patted her shoulder. Go handle your work. Wendy looked at me, wanting to say something, but in the end, she left. She was a good girl. Unfortunately, she followed the wrong boss. My phone vibrated. I looked down. A text message. Mr. Cole, all funds have been withdrawn. Related equity transfer procedures will be completed within 24 hours. The sender was a string of numbers. I replied with one word. Good. Then I put the phone away and pushed the door back open into the banquet hall. On stage, Sophia was cutting the cake. A 3-tier cake with a sign reading IPO success inserted on top. She and Marcus held the knife together, smiling brilliantly. Everyone below applauded and took photos. Camera flashes lit up the room. I found a corner seat and watched quietly. Like an outsider. The cake was cut. Servers handed a piece to everyone. I received one too. The cream was very sweet. So sweet it was cloying. I took one bite and set it down. Ladies and gentlemen. The host picked up the microphone again. Next is tonight's special segment. Let's invite Ms. Reed to draw our lucky grand prize winner. The crowd grew excited. Sophia walked to a raffle box and reached inside. Let's see who tonight's lucky winner is. She pulled out a slip of paper and opened it. Then her smile froze. Her face turned pale little by little, like a layer of powder had been brushed over it. Ms. Reed, who is it? The host leaned over to look. He froze too. This is. What's going on? Marcus walked over and took the slip of paper. He glanced at it and frowned. What the hell is this? People below began whispering. No one knew what had happened. Sophia raised her head and searched through the crowd. Her gaze swept over face after face until it finally stopped on me. She looked at me. In her eyes were confusion, shock, and a trace of panic. I met her gaze. Smiled slightly. Then raised the champagne glass in my hand toward her. Ethan Cole. She shouted. Her voice came through the microphone, slightly distorted. Everyone turned to look at me. The spotlight landed on my face. It felt hot. What did you do? Sophia stepped down from the stage. Her heel struck the marble floor with crisp sounds. Tap, tap, tap. Like a countdown. She walked to me and stared into my face. I'm asking you. What did you do? What did I do? I set down the glass. Finance just called me. Sophia's voice trembled. The company's cash chain is broken. All investors withdrew at the same time. There isn't a single dollar left in the account. What is going on? You're asking me? Who else could it be? Sophia's eyes reddened. Whether from anger or panic, I could not tell. Ethan Cole, I know you hate me. But you can't use this method to take revenge. This company isn't mine alone. It's everyone's hard work. So call them right now and make them transfer the money back. She ordered me. Just like before. Why should I listen to you? You. Sophia choked. She looked at me as if she did not recognize me. Ethan, don't force me. Force you to do what? Force me to tear off all dignity between us. Sophia lowered her voice. If you stop now, I can pretend nothing happened. The house, the car, the money, all of it goes to you. If you keep making trouble, I'll make sure you get nothing. Really? I smiled. Sophia, did you forget who the company's largest investor is? It's Marcus. Oh. I looked toward Marcus on the stage. He was walking over, his face also not looking good. Mr. Hale, I said. Tell her who the company's largest investor is. Marcus came over and held Sophia's arm. Sophia, don't get emotional. Let's talk properly. He destroyed my company. How do you want me to talk properly? Sophia shook his hand off. Ethan Cole, you must give me an explanation today. An explanation? I stood. I was a full head taller than her. She had to look up at me. Sophia, I'll give you one. 3 years ago, when you started your studio, I provided the $30,000 startup capital. Later, when the company expanded and needed money, I borrowed $75,000. After that, when you wanted to develop a new product, I found another $45,000. In total, I invested $150,000 into you. So what? I can pay that back later. Pay back? I laughed. Can you afford to? You. And, I interrupted her, how much do you think Marcus invested? Sophia froze. Marcus invested $450,000. $450,000? I shook my head. He did invest $450,000. But the equity he received was calculated at a $1.5 million valuation. Do you know why? Because he's a strategic investor. Strategic? I laughed aloud. Sophia, you've run a company for 3 years, and you still don't understand the most basic equity structure? I'll tell you. Marcus's $450,000 was only bridge financing. The money that truly supported your company's valuation was another investment. What money? My money. I looked at her and said each word clearly. Through an overseas company, I invested $1.05 million into you. 35% equity. Marcus's $450,000 only took 10%. The rest was the little equity left to you and the team. Sophia's face went completely white. Like paper. No, impossible. You can check, I said. The equity structure and investment agreements are all there. Black and white. Clear as day. Where did you get that much money? That's none of your concern. I adjusted my suit jacket. In short, I am now the largest shareholder of the company. I have the right to withdraw my investment. And according to the agreement, if the founder commits a major moral violation and damages company interests, I can demand a repurchase of your shares. Major moral violation? What moral violation did I commit? Infidelity during marriage. I looked at her. Does that count? Sophia stepped back, almost falling. Marcus supported her. Ethan Cole, don't go too far, Marcus said. What happened between you and Sophia is a private matter. You cannot use business to retaliate. Private matter? I looked at him. Mr. Hale, you knew she was married, yet you still got involved with her. Is that also a private matter? You two are true love, right? I smiled. Fine. I bless you both. But company matters are company matters. My withdrawal is legal and compliant. If you have any objections, talk to my lawyer. After saying that, I turned to leave. Ethan. Sophia called after me. Her voice was shaking. What exactly do you want? I don't want anything. I stopped and looked back. I just want to see how many days your company can survive without my money. You bastard. I'm a bastard. I nodded. But at least I didn't cheat. I left. I did not look back. The banquet hall doors closed behind me, shutting all the noise, screams, and curses inside. The hallway was long. The lights were dim. I walked to the elevator and pressed the down button. The doors opened. I stepped in. The doors slowly closed. In the mirror, my face looked a little blurred. I pulled at my tie. It felt a bit tight. The elevator descended. First floor. The doors opened, and I walked out. The night wind was cool. It felt comfortable against my face. I took out my phone and called a number. Hello? Dad. Resolved? That's good. The voice on the other end was gentle. Come home. Your mom made soup and has been waiting for you. Okay. I hung up. I walked to the roadside and hailed a taxi. The driver asked where to. I gave him the address. The car started and drove into the night. Neon lights flashed past the window like a flowing galaxy. I leaned back in the seat and closed my eyes. 3 years ago, Sophia and I got married. She said she wanted to start a business. I supported her. She said she needed money. I gave it. She said she was busy and had no time to have children. I said okay. She said she was exhausted and wanted me to resign and help her. I said fine. I quit my job and entered her company. I started from the most basic work. Ran sales. Wrote proposals. Drank with clients. Once, I drank until my stomach bled and ended up in the hospital. She cried beside my hospital bed and said she was sorry. I said it was fine. For you, it was worth it. Back then, I truly thought it was worth it. I thought she was good. Everything about her was good. Later, the company grew. She became busy. More social events. Late returns. The smell of smoke, alcohol, and perfume always clung to her. I said, drink less. She said, I have no choice. It's business. I said, I'll go with you. She said, no need. You can't help. Later, she began to despise me. Despised how unfashionable I dressed. Despised that I could not talk well. Despised that I embarrassed her. I said, then I'll change. I learned how to dress. Learned how to speak. Learned how to read people's expressions. She said, forget it. Some things can't be learned. I asked her, do you not love me anymore? She said, Ethan, stop making trouble. I said, I'm not making trouble. She said, I'm under a lot of pressure right now. Can you stop adding to it? I said, okay. I would not add trouble. I did my own work well. Managed the company logistics. Let her focus on business. I thought that would be enough. Until that day. I saw her and Marcus kissing in a car. 10 at night. Downstairs from the company. Inside a black Mercedes. She smiled so happily. Like a young girl in love. I stood across the street and watched for 5 minutes. Then I turned and left. I did not disturb them. After returning home, I sat on the sofa and waited for her all night. She came back at 3 in the morning. She was wearing that red evening gown. I asked where she had been. She said a business dinner. I asked with whom. She said a client. I said, Marcus Hale? She froze. Then she smiled. You know? That's good, she said. Saves me from explaining. When did it start? Half a year ago. Why? Ethan, don't ask me why. She lit a cigarette and leaned against the wall. We are not people from the same world. You can't give me the life I want. What life do you want? Money. Status. Respect. She said it very calmly. You can't give those. Marcus can. So you got together with him? Yes. She exhaled smoke. Ethan, let's divorce. Part on good terms. I'll give you the house and the car. I'll give you a sum of money too. Enough for the rest of your life. I did not speak. She walked over and crouched in front of me. I know I wronged you. But you have to understand me too. I'm a woman fighting in this society. It's hard. I need someone who can help me. Marcus can. You can't. So I deserve to be abandoned? It's not abandonment. She held my hand. It's letting each other go. I pulled my hand back. What if I don't let go? Her eyes turned cold. Ethan, don't force me. If this gets ugly, it won't benefit you. Are you threatening me? I'm reminding you. She stood. You have 3 days. Think clearly. Sign the agreement, and we can still be friends. Don't sign, and don't blame me. She left. The bedroom door closed. I sat alone in the living room until dawn. During those 3 days, I thought a lot. About what I had given these past 3 years. About her betrayal. About my stupidity. In the end, I made a decision. Since she had no heart, she could not blame me for having no mercy. "Sir, we're here." The driver's voice pulled me back to reality. I opened my eyes, paid, and got out. Before me was a villa. Not large, but very elegant. I walked in, and the door opened. My mother stood at the entrance, looking at me. "You're back?" The soup is in the pot. I'll get you some." "Mom, I can do it myself." "Sit." She pressed me onto the sofa and turned into the kitchen. My father sat on the opposite sofa, wearing reading glasses and reading the newspaper. "Handled it?" "Handled." "What did she say?" "What else could she say?" I smiled slightly. "She went crazy." "Serves her right." My father set down the newspaper. "I told you at the beginning that girl's heart wasn't right. You wouldn't listen. Insisted on marrying her. I know I was wrong." "Good that you know." My father sighed. "Be smarter from now on. In this world, not everyone deserves you giving your whole heart." My mother brought the soup out and placed it before me. "Drink while it's hot." "Thank you, Mom." I picked up the spoon and took a sip. Fresh. Warm. "By the way," my father said, "is your withdrawal going a little too far? After all, the company is big. So many employees." "Dad, don't worry," I said. "I withdrew my capital, but the company won't collapse. I've already arranged someone to take over. They'll enter tomorrow. The employees' jobs won't be affected." "That's good." My father nodded. "Do things with restraint. Revenge is revenge, but don't harm the innocent." "I understand." After drinking the soup, I went upstairs to rest. My room was the same as before. On the bookshelf were photos from my childhood and various certificates. I lay on the bed and stared at the ceiling. My phone was vibrating. It was Sophia. I hung up. She called again. I hung up again. On the third call, I answered. "Ethan. Answer your phone." Her voice was sharp and anxious. "What is it? What is it? How can you ask that? The company has no money left on the books. Tomorrow's salaries can't be paid. Suppliers are demanding payment, and banks are calling loans. What am I supposed to do?" "That's your problem. Ethan. Don't go too far." "I'm going too far." I laughed. "Sophia, when you cheated during marriage and joined an outsider to scheme against me, why didn't you think you were going too far?" You what?" I sat up. "I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. Tomorrow, a new investor will take over the company. They will clean out management and restructure the board. And you will be kicked out." "No. You can't do that. The company is my life's work." "It was," I said. "But now, it's mine. Ethan. I'm begging you." Her voice carried tears. "I know I was wrong. Forgive me this once, okay? I'll break up with Marcus. I'll break up with him immediately. Can we start over?" "Too late." "It's not too late. As long as you transfer the money back, I'll agree to anything." "Sophia." I interrupted her. "Do you remember? 3 years ago, when I proposed, you asked me, 'Ethan, will you love me forever?' The other end fell silent. I said yes. I would love you forever, protect you forever, and never let you suffer even a little." I paused. "You said, okay. I believe you. Now, I don't love you anymore," I said. "So I won't protect you either. Ethan. Goodbye." I hung up. Blocked her. Then turned off the phone. The world became quiet. I lay back down and closed my eyes. This time, I slept very peacefully. The next morning, a call woke me. It was the company's new CEO. His last name was Lee. I had recruited him from overseas. "Mr. Cole, the takeover is complete. Sophia Reed and her team have been removed. Marcus Hale's side has also been handled according to the agreement." "Good. Also, there is something I need to report." "Go on." "While checking the accounts, we discovered some problems. During Sophia's tenure, several transactions don't match. The amounts are not large, but the frequency is high. Should we call the police?" I thought for a moment. "Not yet. Organize the materials first and send them to me." "Understood." After hanging up, I got up and washed. When I went downstairs, my parents were already eating breakfast. "You're awake?" my mother said. "Come eat." I sat and picked up a bun. "What's your plan today?" my father asked. Going to the company. Why go there again? To handle a few things. My father looked at me and said nothing. He knew I did not want to explain. After breakfast, I drove out. The company was still in the same place. Only the sign had changed. From Sun Coal Technologies to Coalbridge Capital. I walked in. The receptionist immediately stood when she saw me. Good morning, Mr. Cole. Morning. Mr. Lee is waiting for you in the office. I know. I took the elevator upstairs. The office was on the top floor. Mr. Lee was already waiting. Mr. Cole, these are the materials you asked for. He handed me a folder. I opened it and read page by page. Sophia's reimbursement records. Meals. Travel. Gifts. The amounts ranged from a few hundred to a few thousand. But they were frequent. Almost every week. Can we confirm they were personal expenses? Yes, Mr. Lee said. We checked the invoices against actual spending records. Most were expenses for her and Marcus, charged to the company account. How much total? A little over $30,000. Call the police, I said. Follow every procedure that should be followed. Yes. Mr. Lee left. I walked to the window and looked down. Traffic and people moved below. This world would not stop turning because one person disappeared. Neither would a company. Sophia thought the company was her life. In truth, without her, the company would keep running. And it would run better. My phone rang. An unfamiliar number. I answered. Hello? Ethan, it's me. Sophia's mother, Linda. Aunt Linda, what is it? Ethan, I'm begging you. She was crying. Let Sophia go. She knows she was wrong. She didn't sleep all night yesterday, just cried. For the sake of her being your wife, spare her this once, okay? Aunt Linda, we're already divorced. The divorce agreement hasn't been signed yet. As long as you're willing, you can remarry anytime. I'm not willing. Ethan. Linda grew anxious. What exactly do you want before you'll stop? Do you have to force Sophia to death before you're satisfied? Aunt Linda, you've got it backward. I turned and leaned against the windowsill. Sophia forced me first. She cheated. She plotted against me. She wanted to kick me aside. Now, I'm only taking back what belongs to me. Is that wrong? But she's your wife. She was, I said. Now, she isn't. Ethan, how can you be so heartless? Aunt Linda, I still have work. I'm hanging up. Wait. Linda shouted to stop me. You just want money, don't you? Say it. How much? We'll give it to you. I don't want money. Then what do you want? I want her to pay the price. I hung up. Blocked that number too. There was a knock on the door. Come in. The person who entered surprised me. Marcus Hale. He looked terrible. His eye sockets were sunken, stubble covered his jaw, and his suit was wrinkled. The elegant man on stage yesterday was completely gone. Mr. Cole. He stood at the door, not daring to come in. What is it? I want to talk to you. About what? About Sophia. Her matters have nothing to do with me. Mr. Cole, I know we wronged you. Marcus lowered his head. But Sophia is in very bad shape right now. She's close to a mental breakdown. Can you show mercy and let her go? If I let her go, who lets me go? I looked at him. Mr. Hale, when you were with her, did you ever think about my feelings? You knew she was married, yet you still got involved with her. Now you come beg me. Don't you find it ridiculous? Marcus's face went white. Mr. Cole, I admit I was wrong. But emotions can't be controlled. I truly love her. Love her, so you helped her cheat me out of my money? That wasn't cheating. Marcus raised his voice. That was investment. Normal commercial behavior. Commercial behavior? I smiled. Using my money to pave your path, then kicking me out. That's your commercial behavior? Marcus said nothing. Mr. Hale, please leave. I sat back down. I still have work to do. Ethan. He rushed over and planted both hands on my desk. Don't bully people too much. I'm bullying people too much? I raised my head and looked at him. Have you forgotten where the $450,000 you invested came from? Marcus froze. You thought I didn't know? I said, that $450,000 came from money you misappropriated from your father's company. If your father finds out, what do you think he'll do to you? You. Marcus's face instantly turned deathly pale. How do you know? I know a lot of things. I leaned back in my chair. So, Mr. Hale, I advise you to manage yourself first. Don't wait until the police come for you while you're still here talking to me about love. Marcus opened his mouth but could not speak. He took 2 steps back, turned, and left. His steps were unsteady, like he was drunk. I watched him leave, then picked up the internal phone. Mr. Lee, call the police. Also, send a copy of the materials on Marcus Hale's misappropriation of company funds to his father. Understood. I set the phone down and continued reviewing documents. At noon, my secretary brought lunch. I took a few bites but had no appetite. My phone rang again. This time, it was Sophia. She used a new number. Ethan, let's meet. I'm busy. Just 10 minutes. I'm downstairs from your company. I said I'm busy. Ethan. Her voice was shaking. If you won't meet me, I'll jump off a building. I was silent for a few seconds. Where are you? The cafe across from your company. Wait. I hung up and put on my coat. Downstairs. There were not many people in the cafe. Sophia sat in the corner wearing sunglasses. I walked over and sat down. Talk. She removed her sunglasses. Her eyes were swollen like peaches. Ethan, I was wrong, she said softly. I really know I was wrong. Forgive me, okay? I did not speak. I broke up with Marcus. Really? I'll never see him again. Can we start over? Live properly like before? We can't go back. We can. She grabbed my hand. As long as you're willing, we can definitely go back. Ethan, I swear I'll treat you well from now on. I won't look down on you anymore. I'll listen to whatever you say. I'll do whatever you want. Please don't abandon me. Her hand was cold. Trembling. I pulled my hand back. Sophia, do you remember last year on my birthday? You said you had a surprise for me. She froze. I waited all night. You didn't come back. I couldn't reach you by phone. That day you were with Marcus, right? She lowered her head and said nothing. I waited for you at home all night. The cake melted. I smiled faintly. Later, when you came back, you said something happened at the company. I believed you. Actually, I knew you were lying. But I didn't expose you. I didn't want to tear away the last bit of dignity between us. Ethan. But now, there's no need. I stood. Sophia, we end here. Don't come looking for me again. No. She stood too. I won't agree. Ethan, I won't divorce you. Even if I die, I won't divorce. That's not up to you, I said. My lawyer will contact you. Whether you sign or not, decide for yourself. I turned to leave. Ethan. She shouted behind me. If you dare divorce me, I'll expose your mother's secret. I stopped. Turned. What did you say? I said. Sophia stared at me, madness in her eyes. Don't think I don't know how your mother caused your father's first wife to die. My breathing stopped for a moment. What did you say? I said your mother was the other woman. She stole someone else's husband and forced his first wife to kill herself. If this gets out, how will your mother live? Sophia smiled. Very proudly. Ethan, if you dare divorce me, I'll expose it. I'll let everyone know what kind of woman your mother is. I stared at her. For a long time. Sophia, where did you hear that? Don't worry about where I heard it. I'm asking you, divorce, or not? No divorce, I said. But don't think you'll have a good time either. What do you mean? It means. I picked up my phone and dialed a number. Captain Lewis, you can come in. The cafe door was pushed open. Several uniformed officers walked in. Who is Sophia Reed? I am. Sophia froze. What is this? Someone reported you for embezzlement. Please come with us to assist the investigation. Embezzlement? Sophia's eyes widened. I didn't. Whether you did or not will be determined after investigation. The leading officer showed his badge. Please cooperate. Ethan. Sophia looked at me. It was you. You reported me. It was me. I nodded. That $30,000 is enough to send you away for a few years. You bastard. She tried to rush at me but was stopped. Ethan Cole. You'll die a miserable death. I'll wait. I watched her being taken away. The cafe was silent. Everyone looked at me. I adjusted my clothes and walked out. The sunlight outside was glaring. I narrowed my eyes and lit a cigarette. Took a deep breath. Exhaled a ring of smoke. My phone rang again. It was my mother. Ethan, Sophia's mother is here, making a scene at our door. She says you're trying to force her daughter to death. Let her make a scene, I said. When she's done, she'll quiet down. But, Mom, don't be afraid. I crushed the cigarette. I'm here. No one can bully you. My mother's voice carried tears. Ethan, I'm sorry. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't. Mom, don't say that. I interrupted her. It's all in the past. After hanging up, I stood by the roadside. Cars came and went. People came and went. This world had never been fair. When someone wins, someone loses. When someone laughs, someone cries. 3 years ago, I lost. Lost completely. 3 years later, I won it back. My way. But why did I not feel happy at all? My phone vibrated again. This time, it was a text message. Mr. Cole, Sophia Reed's case has been filed. The evidence is solid. She can't escape. I replied with one word. Good. Then I put my phone away. I hailed a car. West Hill Cemetery. The car started and drove toward the outskirts. West Hill Cemetery was quiet. Evergreen pines and cypresses. Rows of tombstones. I walked to one grave and placed flowers down. The photo on the stone showed a woman. Very young. Smiling gently. Mom, I came to see you. I said. Everything is handled. Don't worry. No one will bully us again. Wind blew past, lifting a few fallen leaves. I stood for a long time, until the sky darkened. Mom, I'm leaving. I'll come see you again next time. I turned and left. The road down the hill was long. I walked down step by step. I did not look back. I knew that some things, once done, could not be undone. But I did not regret it. Because this world has never been gentle to kind people. You either endure. Or you become ruthless. I chose the latter. That was all. When I returned from the cemetery, the sky was fully dark. Streetlights lit one by one, stretching shadows long across the ground. At the entrance of the neighborhood, I saw Linda still sitting beside the flower bed. When she saw me, she immediately stood. Ethan. I ignored her and walked inside. Ethan. Stop right there. She chased after me and grabbed my arm. Where did you take my daughter? Why did the police arrest her? Aunt Linda, you should ask the police. I shook off her hand. How can I ask? They won't tell me anything. They only said she committed a crime and needs to be investigated. Linda's eyes were red. Ethan, I'm begging you. Go tell the police it was a misunderstanding. Tell them to release Sophia, okay? Misunderstanding? I stopped and looked at her. Sophia embezzled more than $30,000 from the company. The evidence is solid. That's a misunderstanding. She can pay it back later. Later? I laughed. Aunt Linda, do you think I'll still believe that? Ethan. Linda's tears fell. Sophia was with you for 3 years, after all. Even if she had no merit, she suffered with you. Are you really so cruel that you'll send her inside? She was the cruel one, I said. When she wanted to divorce me, she didn't think of those 3 years. When she got together with Marcus, she didn't think of those 3 years. When she schemed against me and lied to me, she thought of those 3 years even less. And now, you bring up those 3 years to me? Linda opened her mouth but could not speak. Aunt Linda, go home, I said. I can't help you with this. Ethan. She still wanted to say something. But I did not listen. I walked into the building and pressed the elevator. She did not follow. The elevator doors closed, shutting her desperate face outside. When I returned home, my mother sat on the sofa. The TV was on, but she was not watching. She was staring blankly. Mom. I walked over and sat beside her. Did she leave? What did she say? Nothing. I held her hand. It's over. My mother looked at me, tears in her eyes. Ethan, I dragged you down. No. Yes, my mother said. If it weren't for me, Sophia wouldn't. Mom. I interrupted her. Sophia's matter has nothing to do with you. It was the path she chose herself. My mother lowered her head and wiped her eyes. How did she know about what happened back then? I don't know, I said. Maybe she heard it somewhere. Then will she? She won't. I tightened my grip on her hand. Don't worry. She won't dare say it. If she does, she'll be finished too. My mother nodded, but worry remained on her face. Ethan, I only have you as my son. I don't need you to become extremely rich. I just want you to live safely. Sophia's matter, if it can pass, let it pass. Don't make it too big. I know. I patted her hand. I have restraint. That was what I said. But in my heart, I knew. This matter would never pass. From the moment Sophia threatened me with my mother's past, it could no longer pass. I could tolerate her cheating. I could tolerate her plotting against me. But I could not tolerate her using my mother to threaten me. That was the bottom line. Whoever touched it would die. The next day, I went to the company. Mr. Lee was already waiting. Mr. Cole, Sophia's side has confessed. What did she confess? She admitted that she embezzled the $30,000. But she said Marcus encouraged her to do it. She said Marcus promised that after the company went public, he would take her overseas. What about Marcus? He's been arrested too, Mr. Lee said. Misappropriation of company funds, large amount. His father has already received the materials. I heard he flew into a rage and said he would cut ties with him. Also, Mr. Lee hesitated, Sophia's mother has been making trouble at the company entrance, saying she wants to see you. Let her make trouble. But call the police, I said. Say she is disrupting company order and let them handle it. Yes. Mr. Lee left. I opened my computer and checked emails. A pile of work waited to be handled. The new company had just taken over. Everything needed rebuilding. I worked until noon. My secretary brought lunch in. Mr. Cole, eat something first. Put it there. Also, the secretary said, someone called just now and said he is Sophia Reed's lawyer. He wants to talk to you. About what? He said, he wants to negotiate a settlement. Settlement? I smiled. Tell him there is nothing to discuss. See you in court. Understood. The secretary left. I picked up the lunchbox and took 2 bites. No appetite. I set down the chopsticks and walked to the window. Downstairs, Linda was still there. She sat beside the flower bed with her head lowered, like a statue. The wind blew through her hair, making it look messy. I watched her for a while, then turned back to my desk. Continued working. At 3 in the afternoon, a guest arrived. Marcus Hale's father, Richard Hale. I had met him once before at a business reception. Only from afar. Back then, he was the main character. I was background. Now, he sat across from me, his expression iron gray. Mr. Cole. Mr. Hale. I poured him tea. What brings you here today? Marcus's matter. Richard got straight to the point. Mr. Cole, I know Marcus wronged you. He is young and ignorant. He did something foolish. Can you show mercy and let him go? After Richard said this, his fingers rested on the edge of the teacup, his knuckles slightly white. He was trying hard to make himself look calm. But I could see it. He was panicking. After Marcus was taken away, the Hale family's phones had probably been blown up. Company funds misappropriated. His son involved with a married woman. Participation in false financing packaging. And entanglement in Sun Coal Technologies pre-IPO equity fraud. Any one of those things alone would be enough to make the Hale family suffer. Now they were all piled together. I leaned back in my chair and looked at Richard. Mr. Hale, why do you think I should let him go? Richard was silent for a moment. He quickly changed his tone. Mr. Cole, I know you're angry. Marcus did act foolishly. He's young. He was blinded by Sophia. In a moment of impulse, he did things he shouldn't have done. I laughed. Mr. Hale, that's really interesting. Your son interfered in my marriage because Sophia blinded him. Your son misappropriated company funds because he was young and foolish. Your son took $450,000 and stood in front of me pretending to be the biggest investor. Was that also taught by someone else? Richard's expression turned ugly. Mr. Cole, there's no need to speak so absolutely. Absolutely? I pushed the teacup toward him. Mr. Hale, when your son stood on stage last night holding my wife's hand and announced their engagement, he didn't think that was absolute. When he had his assistant throw a divorce agreement in front of me, he didn't think that was absolute either. When Sophia stood in front of everyone and said I wasn't good enough for her, he stood beside her and smiled. I leaned forward and stared into his eyes. At that time, did your Hale family ever think of leaving me a way out? Richard's mouth twitched. He had not expected me to speak so directly. The conference room was so quiet only the air conditioning could be heard. After a few seconds, he sighed and took a document from his briefcase. "Mr. Cole, this is a compensation proposal." I did not move. Richard pushed the document over. "The Hale family is willing to compensate you $3 million. In addition, we will transfer 10% of one subsidiary under Hale Group to you. As long as you withdraw the accusations against Marcus and no longer pursue his responsibility for misappropriating funds or participating in the Sun Coal Technologies incident." I lowered my eyes and glanced at the document. 3 million. 10% equity. It did look like a lot. If it were me 3 years ago, I probably would never have dared imagine it in this lifetime. But now, I only found it laughable. I closed the document and pushed it back. "Mr. Hale, did you misunderstand something?" Richard frowned. "Mr. Cole, this is already a very sincere offer." "Sincere?" I smiled slightly. "What I invested in Sophia was more than this. The face your son publicly humiliated was worth more than this. More importantly, I'm not short of money." Richard's eyes darkened. At last, he put away the posture of someone asking for a favor. "Ethan Cole, leave a line open when dealing with people. You'll have to meet them again someday." I looked at him. "Is Mr. Hale starting to threaten me now?" "It's not a threat. It's a reminder." Richard said coldly, "You do have the law on your side right now. But in business, being right doesn't mean you can walk to the end. The Hale family has been in this circle for years. Our connections, resources, and relationships are not something a young man like you can imagine. If you insist on pushing Marcus to death, the Hale family will not sit still." When he said this, his eyes had gone completely cold. I finally laughed aloud. Richard stared at me. "What are you laughing at?" "I'm laughing because your Hale family really does pass things down perfectly. When the son does something wrong, first he plays innocent. When he can't keep pretending, you talk money. When the money talk fails, you start threatening." I stood and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. Below, cars came and went. Linda was still sitting beside the flower bed, her hair whipped messy by the wind. She was waiting for me to soften. Richard was the same. They all thought that as long as they cried, begged, and then scared me a little, I would take a step back the way I had done with Sophia before. But they forgot. I had already taken too many steps back. In the end, behind me was a cliff. I turned and looked at Richard. "Mr. Hale, let me remind you of something too. Marcus misappropriating $450,000 is only the beginning." Richard's expression changed slightly. "What do you mean?" I pressed the intercom on the desk. "Mr. Lee, bring in the materials." Very soon, Mr. Lee pushed open the door and came in with a thick file bag. He placed it in front of Richard. "Mr. Hale, these are the records we found of Marcus Hale moving funds through related companies over the past 2 years. Richard's pupils constricted. He reached out, took the documents, and the more he flipped, the paler his face became. The first page showed records of Marcus moving $450,000 out of a Hale Group project company. The second page showed a shell company Marcus had opened under a relative of his mother. The third page showed how he used those companies to pay Sophia's team's so-called resource consulting fees. The fourth page showed fake service contracts jointly signed by him and Sophia. Page after page. Black words on white paper. Clear as day. Richard's hands began to shake. This is impossible." "Is it impossible, or did you simply not know?" I looked at him. "Your son didn't just move one sum of money. He used Hale family money to package Sophia's financing. He used Sun Coal Technologies money to route benefits back to himself. Then he used those fake resource fees to raise his value in Sophia's eyes. Mr. Hale, your son is more capable than you imagined." All color drained from Richard's face. He finally understood. Today, he had not come here to negotiate terms. I had been waiting for him to come to me. He raised his head and looked at me, his voice much lower. "Mr. Cole, who else have you given these materials to?" "Everyone who should have them." "You." He shot to his feet. The teacup was knocked over, spilling tea across the table. Mr. Lee immediately stepped forward. I lifted my hand, signaling him not to move. Richard stared at me, anger and fear both in his eyes. "Ethan Cole, are you trying to destroy the Hale family?" "You're wrong, Mr. Hale." My tone was calm. "The person destroying the Hale family is not me. It's Marcus Hale. He was greedy. He was stupid. He thought he could steal someone else's wife and still steal someone else's money. Now he's simply paying the bill. Richard's lips moved. In an instant, he looked 10 years older. When he first walked in, he was still the chairman of Hale Group. High above others, capable of using money to crush people and relationships to pressure people. Now, he was just a father cleaning up his son's mess. But I would not sympathize with him. Because if I were the one who had lost today, he would not even look at me. Richard sat back down, his voice hoarse. What exactly do you want? I looked at him. I want Marcus Hale in prison. Richard's face went white. Ethan. I also want him to apologize publicly, I continued. To me, to every Sun Coal Technologies employee he deceived, and to the investors. In addition, Hale Group must cooperate with the investigation and clearly explain all abnormal funds that flowed through Marcus Hale into Sun Coal Technologies. Richard clenched his fists. You're trying to make the Hale family lose all face. Face? I smiled. Mr. Hale, when your son stood in the banquet hall last night holding my wife's hand and announcing their engagement, did he ever think of my face? Richard could no longer speak. Outside the conference room door, a commotion suddenly broke out. I want to see Ethan Cole. What right do you have to stop me? It was Linda. She had finally made her way from downstairs into the company. The secretary rushed in. Mr. Cole, Sophia's mother brought several live-stream media accounts upstairs. Security can't stop them. Mr. Lee's face darkened. I'll handle it. No need. I adjusted my cuffs. Let them in. Richard suddenly looked at me. Are you insane? There are media here now. I said mildly, perfect timing. Some accounts are no fun to settle behind closed doors. Settling them in front of everyone feels much better. When Linda rushed into the conference room, her hair was loose and the makeup on her face had been ruined by tears. Behind her followed several self-media streamers holding up phones. The cameras pushed in very close. Everyone watching, look. This is Ethan Cole's company. He sent his own ex-wife to jail and forced his in-laws into a dead end. Today, we're here to seek justice for Sophia. As soon as Linda came in, she rushed toward me. Ethan Cole. Are you still human? Sophia was with you for 3 years, and this is how you harm her? She only made a small mistake, and you want to send her to prison. She cried as if her heart had been torn out. The live stream comments immediately began rolling. What's going on? His ex-wife was arrested? This man looks so cold-blooded. They were married. Isn't this too much? Does anyone know the full story? The self-media streamers, like flies smelling blood, immediately aimed their cameras at me. Mr. Cole, are you maliciously retaliating against your ex-wife because of an emotional dispute? Someone says that after you took control of the company, you deliberately set up Sophia Reed and had her sent to the police station. Is that true? Are you doing all of this to swallow her company? I looked at those cameras. There was not the slightest ripple in my heart. Seeing that I did not speak, Linda thought I was guilty and cried even louder. Say something. Why aren't you speaking? Aren't you so capable? Don't you want to destroy my daughter? She suddenly turned toward the camera and wailed. Everyone, judge this for us. My daughter is a woman. Do you know how hard it is for her to start a business? She finally took the company public, and this man got jealous. He had no ability before and lived off my daughter. Now that my daughter has succeeded, he wants to steal the company. He even falsely accused her of cheating and embezzling company funds. He's trying to force us mother and daughter to death. The comments began to shift. Really? If so, the man is disgusting. Stealing the company after she succeeds? It's too hard for women to start businesses. Don't rush. Wait for the reversal. I looked at Linda. I had to admit, she knew how to make trouble. She knew she had no evidence, so she placed herself in the role of the weak. A mother crying her heart out. A daughter sent to the police station. A cold-faced ex-husband. Once that picture appeared, naturally someone would soften. Unfortunately, she had chosen the wrong opponent. I picked up the remote on the table and pressed it. The conference room screen lit up. The first video began to play. It was the banquet hall from last night. Sophia wore the red gown and held Marcus's arm, announcing in front of everyone. Mr. Marcus Hale and I have decided to get engaged. In the footage, I stood in the corner. Everyone applauded. No one looked at me. Linda's expression changed. Why are you playing this? I ignored her. The second video showed Assistant Carter handing me the divorce agreement. Mr. Hale said it would be better for you and Ms. Reed to handle this early. The terms are all clearly written. Please take a look. If there's no problem, sign it. The third video showed Sophia rushing up to me and ordering me to transfer the funds back. Call them right now and make them transfer the money back. The fourth audio clip was Sophia threatening me in the cafe. If you dare divorce me, I'll expose your mother's secret. I'll let everyone know what kind of woman your mother is. The conference room fell into dead silence. Linda's crying stuck in her throat. The self-media streamers held up their phones, their expressions becoming more and more awkward. The live stream comments completely exploded. What? So the woman cheated during marriage? She announced her engagement in front of her husband? That's insane. She even threatened him with his mother? Is this woman crazy? Her mom just said her daughter was innocent. Does her face hurt? I turned off the video and looked at Linda. Aunt Linda, do you want to keep crying? Linda's lips trembled. You recorded secretly. The banquet hall had security cameras. The cafe had security cameras too. Your daughter said those words herself. I didn't make up a single one for her. I took one step forward. You say she was with me for 3 years. Then let me ask you. In those 3 years, who paid for her to start the company? Who resigned and entered the company to run sales for her? Who drank until his stomach bled while entertaining clients for her? Who, when her company was at its hardest point, invested $1.05 million through an overseas company, taking 35% equity, yet never said a word about it to the outside? With every question, Linda lost another shade of color. I stared at her. You say I'm stealing the company. Then do you know the company's biggest shareholder was me all along? Your daughter used my money, my resources, and my trust to build the company. At the IPO celebration banquet, she turned around and held another man's hand to announce an engagement. I take back what belongs to me. That's stealing? Linda opened her mouth and could not say a word for a long time. One self-media streamer asked quietly, Ms. Reed, did you know any of this? Linda whipped her head toward him. Why are you asking me? Aren't you here to help me? The streamer's face stiffened. The comments were already full of curses. Help you? Help you spread rumors? I almost believed that old woman when she cried. Daughter cheats, mother makes a scene at the company. What a family. The male lead is too steady. He just threw the evidence in their faces. Richard Hale sat to the side with an iron gray face the whole time. He had wanted to handle this quietly. But Linda's commotion had dragged him into the cameras too. Soon, someone recognized him. Wait, isn't that Richard Hale, chairman of Hale Group? Marcus Hale's father? Good grief. All 3 parties are here. This live stream is worth it. Richard shot to his feet, wanting to leave. But I spoke. Mr. Hale, don't rush. Richard's steps froze. All cameras instantly aimed at him. I picked up the documents on the table. Since the media are here, Mr. Hale can explain this to everyone too. Did you know that Marcus Hale misappropriated $450,000 from a Hale Group project company to invest in Sun Coal Technologies and pretend to be a strategic investor? Richard's face turned pale instantly. Ethan Cole. I did not stop. Also, he used related companies to fabricate service contracts and route Sun Coal Technologies' money back into accounts he controlled. Did Hale Group participate in this? If it did not, is Hale Group willing to cooperate with police and regulatory investigations? Once those 2 questions were asked, the conference room completely exploded. The self-media streamers shoved their cameras toward him like mad. Mr. Hale, is this true? Is Marcus Hale suspected of misappropriating company funds? Will Hale Group issue a statement? Did you come to Mr. Cole today to negotiate a private settlement? Richard's face turned from green to white, then from white to red. After all his years in business, this was the first time he had been blocked by so many people and left speechless. Linda was stunned too. She had come here to make a scene and ask for justice for her daughter. She had not expected to drag both Sophia and Marcus into a deeper pit. In the live stream, the comments were so fast they were almost unreadable. I'm stunned. This is a full-chain fraud. Cheating, fake investment, embezzlement, public engagement. This is a drama. That mother brought media to accuse him and ended up exposing the whole family. The man had all the evidence ready. Incredible. I looked at the cameras and said calmly, since everyone is here, I'll make one statement. First, I never maliciously retaliated against Sophia Reed. What I have done is exercise my legal rights as an investor and shareholder. Second, Sophia Reed's suspected embezzlement has already been filed by the police. Whether she is guilty will be determined by the court. Third, the abnormal fund flows involving Marcus Hale and Hale Group-related companies have already been submitted to the police and regulators. Fourth, regarding the rumors Linda Reed is spreading about my family, I will sue for defamation. After saying that, I looked at Linda. Aunt Linda, I gave you a chance. You chose to bring cameras here. Then don't blame me for making everything public. Linda's legs weakened. She nearly fell to the ground. The self-media streamers no longer pointed their cameras only at me. They turned toward Linda, then Richard, then the documents on the table. Someone whispered, "This is big news." Someone else hurriedly called their editor. Richard looked at me, then looked at the cameras, and finally gritted his teeth. "Mr. Cole, Hale Group will cooperate with the investigation." After saying that, he pushed through the crowd and left. Linda tried to follow, but a security guard stopped her. "Ms. Reed, you have disrupted company order. Please leave." "I won't leave. Ethan Cole, you can't treat us like this." The security guard did not give her another chance. Two people carried her out, one on each side. Her crying echoed down the hallway. The live stream ended in chaos. But the effect was immediate. Within half an hour, the video clips were everywhere online. Sophia announcing her engagement at the IPO banquet. Assistant Carter delivering the divorce agreement. Sophia ordering me to transfer the money back. Sophia threatening me with my mother's past. Richard being questioned about Marcus's misappropriation. Linda's crying. Every segment was clipped and spread madly. By evening, the trending topics had changed completely. IPO celebration banquet turns into engagement announcement. Founder's husband was hidden major shareholder. Marcus Hale suspected of misappropriating funds. Sophia Reed suspected of embezzlement. Linda Reed live stream backfires. Public opinion overturned like a flipped table. People who had just cursed me in the live stream began deleting their comments. Some came back to apologize. Some pretended they had only been watching the excitement. But I did not care. After the conference room emptied, Mr. Lee walked in. "Mr. Cole, the media are all downstairs. Should we arrange a formal press conference?" "No need," I said. "Let legal issue a written statement." "Should we mention the part about your mother?" "No." I paused. "I'll handle that myself." Mr. Lee nodded. "Understood." That night, my father issued a statement in his own name. There was no attempt to gain sympathy. No attack on anyone. Only a clear timeline of what had happened back then. My biological mother died of illness. Before she passed away, she entrusted my current mother with taking care of me. 1 year after his wife's death, my father formally married my current mother. Attached to the statement were medical records, a death certificate, the marriage registration date, and a handwritten letter left by my biological mother. There were only a few lines in the letter. "Ethan is still young. If one day he asks about me, please tell him that his mother loved him very much. And please live well. Don't spend the rest of your lives trapped in pain because of me." After that letter was made public, the internet was silent for a long time. Then public opinion completely turned. So his stepmother carried this false accusation for so many years. Sophia Reed is vicious. She used something like this to threaten him. Ethan Cole's family suffered too much. This really is the bottom line. Whoever touches it dies. The rumor Linda tried to spread was crushed by the truth before it could fully ferment. And Sophia, because of threats, rumor spreading, and infringing on another person's reputation, faced another civil lawsuit. This time, she had no chance of turning things around. 2 months later, the case went to trial. That day, many media outlets gathered outside the courthouse. When Sophia was brought out, she had become so thin she looked hollowed out. She kept her head down, wore a mask, and did not dare look at the cameras. Linda stood outside the gallery, crying so hard she could barely stand. Marcus was also brought in. He looked even more miserable than Sophia. His hair had been cut short. His eye sockets were sunken. He no longer had any of the dignity of the overseas educated investor on stage. The two of them glanced at each other across the crowd. There was no affection. No dependence. Only resentment. When Sophia saw Marcus, her eyes instantly sharpened. He encouraged me. He made me route those payments. He said that after the IPO, everything would be washed clean. Marcus immediately shouted back, "Sophia, don't dump everything on me. You approved the expenses. You signed the accounts. For the sake of going public, you dared to do anything. Now that something happened, you say I encouraged you?" They had not even entered the courtroom before they started arguing. The bailiff rebuked them coldly. The media took photos like crazy. Linda rushed over, wanting to protect her daughter, but was stopped. "Sophia, don't be afraid. Mom is here." Hearing that, Sophia broke down and cried. "Mom, save me. I don't want to go to prison. I really don't want to go to prison." Linda cried until she almost fainted. But no one could save her. After the trial began, the evidence was presented one item at a time. Reimbursement records, bank statements, fake contracts, surveillance videos, audio recordings, chat logs. Every piece was clear. Sophia initially tried to argue. She said she had only made mistakes in management. She said the expenses were all for company operations. She said Marcus had deceived her. But when the prosecutors played the banquet video and the cafe threat recording, she completely lost her voice. Marcus did not fare any better. The money flows from Hale Group project companies to his shell companies and then into Sun Coal Technologies were all connected into a complete chain. Richard Hale did not protect him. On the contrary, he submitted supplementary internal audit materials from Hale Group. That final blow pinned Marcus to the wall. By the time the trial ended, Sophia was sentenced to 3 years. Marcus, because the amount was larger and involved misappropriation of funds and related party transaction fraud, received 6 years. Linda fainted on the spot after hearing the verdict. Richard Hale did not show up. After the verdict, reporters surrounded me at the courthouse entrance. "Mr. Cole, are you satisfied with this result? Mr. Cole, do you have anything to say to Sophia Reed? Mr. Cole, did this revenge make you feel relieved?" I looked at the cameras. The winter wind blew across my face, cold but clear. "I have nothing to say to her," I said. "As for relief." I paused. "Justice is not relief. It is only a result." After saying that, I left under the protection of security. That night, I went home for dinner. My mother cooked a table full of dishes. My father opened a bottle of wine. "Drink a little?" I smiled. "A little." At the table, my father asked me, "What do you plan to do next?" I thought for a moment. "Run the company well. And then?" "Then spend more time with you." My mother smiled. "That sounds more like it." My father took a sip of wine and suddenly said, "As for relationships, don't be afraid." My chopsticks paused. My mother also looked at me. "Yes, Ethan. Sophia is Sophia. Not everyone is like her." I lowered my head and smiled. "I know. I just did not want to think about it for now." It was not fear. It was simply that after a heart had been hollowed out, it needed time to grow back. The days passed one by one. The company became more and more stable. Hale Group suffered a major blow because of Marcus, and Richard Hale retired early. Sophia was serving her sentence. Occasionally, she wrote me letters. The first one, I did not read. I handed it directly to my lawyer. The second and third were the same. Later, she stopped writing. I heard from Linda that she was behaving well inside and had started learning accounting, saying she wanted to become a new person after getting out. After I heard that, I only said one thing. "That's good. Nothing else. People must pay the price for their choices." After paying it, if she wanted to start again, that was her business. It had nothing to do with me. A year later, a tech company invested in by Coalbridge Capital successfully went public. On bell-ringing day, Mr. Lee asked whether I wanted to go on stage. I looked at the dazzling lights on stage and suddenly thought of Sophia's celebration banquet. Thought of that glass of melted champagne. Thought of her holding Marcus's arm and announcing their engagement with a smile. Thought of me making that call and saying, "Withdraw all my capital." Back then, I thought revenge would make me happy. But when I truly reached this day, I finally understood. The greatest satisfaction was not watching someone kneel. It was not watching someone regret. It was not watching someone go to prison. It was finally walking out of that rotten relationship. No longer waiting for her to turn back. No longer proving that I was worthy of love. No longer using someone else's betrayal to punish myself. I adjusted my suit and walked onto the stage. Applause sounded below. The light fell on me. This time, no one pushed me into a corner. This time, I was not hiding in the shadows, watching someone else shine. This time, I stood in my own place. The bell rang. Heavy. Clear. Like a full stop placed after the past. And like a door opening toward the future. I looked at my parents below the stage. My mother applauded with red eyes. My father sat upright, pride in his eyes. Suddenly, I smiled. All those grievances, betrayals, humiliations, and misunderstandings from the past became very far away in that moment. So far away they felt like a previous life. Later, a reporter asked me, "Mr. Cole, what do you think was the most important comeback of your life?" I thought for a moment. Then I answered. It wasn't taking back the company. It wasn't making the people who betrayed me pay the price. It was finally understanding that when someone doesn't cherish you, it doesn't mean you have no value. Leaving the wrong person is the beginning of the real comeback. In front of the camera, I said it calmly. But I knew this sentence was meant for the version of myself who once stood in the corner of that banquet hall, holding a glass of champagne. That day, he was humiliated. Abandoned. Treated like a joke. But he did not fall. He simply took back his kindness. Then step by step, he took back everything that belonged to him. That's all for today's story. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment.